What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a great night, great start to your week. But we're getting started here by finishing off the offense. That's right. We're going through free agency, each position, and we've got the offensive line tonight. So let's get rocking and rolling. Not a live video, but love to hear your thoughts down below. Going to give you my thoughts. Take a look at every single free agent on the offensive line. We got the tackles, guard, center. So breaking it down, everything that you need to know this free agency coming up March 15th. Then we'll get into the defense this upcoming week. Very excited about that. But yeah, let's rock and roll, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate you hitting that like button, subscribing, all that stuff you're doing. But let's start it off. Now, the other day gave you a cap update. The cap did go up in the NFL. So therefore, the Eagles and every other team's cap went up. And the Philadelphia Eagles, we know not only do they have cap space, but they can create even more, and expect Howie to do those moves that I talked about over a month ago. But I'll recap on that stuff, keep you ready for those moves, so nobody's surprised here. But let's take a look at the ammo that the Eagles have here. And look, I'm also going to talk about each position, what I think the Eagles should do. So should they be using, one of those 8 draft picks? They've got 16 the next 2, 23 the next 3 years. But you can see the cap space they have, $27.3 million right now. Next year, over 22 mil, over 69 mil in 2026. So they want to sign someone, give them some of those dummy years, whatever it may be. The Eagles can wheel and deal, and you can go check out all those other fancier positions, but it starts in the trenches here. So let's break it down. Let's talk about it, and I'll show you the full list here. But as each position, we do this first. We look at what the Eagles got going on, and then we'll break down exactly what I think they should do, and then the top fits after you get to see all of them. So obviously the biggest thing for the Eagles, we've got Jason Kelce here as a free agent, as somebody who we don't know if he is going to retire or maybe sign a 1-year deal. Lord only knows, but let's take a gander here. Now, under contract, you can see at tackle, we've got Mailata and Lane Johnson. Fred Johnson there is depth. At guard, you've got Dickerson and Steen. Center, Cam Jurgens. These are the guys under contract. Now, you can see we've got some reserve future guys. LaRaven Clark just recently signed Darian Kennard. You can go check out that breakdown video from the other day. You can see Lecitus Smith and Brett Toth, then Jason Poe as well. Now, free agents, you've got Driscoll, Roderick Johnson, Sua Opeta, and Jason Kelce. Now, with Kelce, you would have to, sign him to a new deal. And obviously, I would love to have the guy back, but that's very important, because do you think Cam Jurgens, did he do so well at right guard that you want to keep him there? You're looking for a new center. Do you want to put Tyler Steen at right guard? I am very hopeful for Steen. You know that Stoutland was a big fan of him. We talked about him comparing possibly being, the next Brandon Brooks. I would love that, but only time can tell. And you got to hope for his development. We shall see. But I think that obviously a very talented young man, and we can hope for the best, but we'll see. Now, for me, I think the Eagles need to be looking into the draft. I don't think that, you got to get younger there, because Lane has a couple years left, but if Kelce's leaving, all these things, I don't think that free agency is what you need. Right there, I just mentioned what you have. So if Kelce, that's the most important thing. So let's talk about it as we go through it. But you see what's going on with the Eagles there. Love to hear your thoughts, what you think they should do. But now we're going to look at the full list of all of the free agents, and we're going to start off with the tackles, then we'll go into the guards and then the centers. But as always, we'll start it off with the exclusive rights guys. So 2 accrued seasons, that's what they have to be under. Cannot be 3 or 4. Those are different. That's restricted and unrestricted. So the way it is, they get a minimum contract from the team that they were on, and that's if they're tendered with this exclusive rights. Then the team essentially gets them for that minimum. If the guy doesn't sign it, he just doesn't get to play. So if that team doesn't want to tender them, they can become unrestricted. But this is a way for a team to keep homegrown talent. And you could see a list of guys there, but probably most likely a lot of these guys staying on their respective teams. Now, restricted guys, these are the ones with the 3 accrued seasons. And a lot of the times they are the undrafted dudes, because, your draft picks will have 4 years. They'll become unrestricted if they don't get new contracts. So these guys, they can have those 3 tenders we talk about placed on them. Someone can match where they're drafted if they're a restricted free agent. wherever that pick may be. Or if they're undrafted, clearly you're not getting a pick, but there's right to refusal. The team can match the offer. All kinds of stuff can be done there. So another way to keep, try to keep younger talent there. And you can see a few guys there, Alaric Jackson, seeing some starts there with the Rams, Deculus with the Jets, and Brandel there with the Vikings. But let's take a look at the full list of unrestricted guys. And my Lord, I got a few here. So Tyron Smith, obviously, that'll be huge to see what he does there if he returns to the Cowboys. But you've got guys like Onwenu, Pete Becton. Now, for me, if I'm the Eagles, I'm not looking, for one of these top tier guys because, we've already got the best duo in the league. And yeah, obviously, I like Fred Johnson. We talked about him a lot last year. I think, again, go younger, add for the future. I don't know that any of these guys jump off the page. We'll talk about my fits here in a little bit, but if you like any of these names you see here, I mean, this is quite a list of unrestricted offensive tackles. And some of these guys, versatile, can play some guard, but I just went with where they were on the depth chart of their previous team. And you could see their previous teams listed there. And look, Prince Tega-Winogo on there. You've got some familiar names, Tyre Phillips, Matt Pryor. So some former Eagles, but some guys with starting experience, some veteran guys, some younger guys. So a plethora of ways you could go into free agency. And look, I'm all about adding depth throughout the summer. So if you sign somebody, doesn't mean they're just making the roster. They've actually got to compete. So, but for me, when you're looking at tackles, I think the Eagles need to look into the draft. Now, let's get into the guards. And as I just mentioned, here's the exclusive rights guys. So those are the 2 years guys that are signing for that minimum. Former Eagle, Coyote Awasika. Let's go, baby. Follows me on Twitter. That, unfortunately didn't work out here, but best of luck to him. You see some other pieces, McClendon there. Maybe hopeful for him. Not really living up to where, they thought he would be. But, these guys, they have a chance to return to their teams. And then the restricted guys, you could see some talented young men. And, hey, they're in the NFL. So, but most likely, most of these guys staying with those teams. Keith Ishmael, I remember talking about him before the draft a couple of years ago. A versatile piece who can play some center as well. But now let's take a look at the unrestricted guards and another massive list here. And, the Eagles, obviously, we talked about it. We'll see what we're doing. Is Cam Jurgens going over to center? Do you feel comfortable with Steen there? Do you bring in one of these guards? Are you looking top tier, mid tier, bottom tier? But lot of guys here, a lot of starting experience. Vaitai out there, maybe you bring him back. Runyon, a lot of guys out there. And Zeitler, Ford, a lot of people definitely you could look at. Now, center is another position. Now, we're looking at the exclusive rights guys here. Obviously, same thing goes. Only one guy on the list. So you see him there, Ryan Nuzeel. Former Eagle, Cameron Tom, couldn't find a picture of him with the Chargers. So he's got his Eagle picture. But he is restricted. So we'll see if the Chargers try to retain him. And then the unrestricted guys. And again, Jason Kelsey can do whatever the hell he wants. We'll see if he wants to return, whatever it may be. But, oh, Lord, you've got some other talented guys on these lists here. So, look, the Eagles, again, to me, should be looking into the draft for a lot of these things. But if you want to get a veteran just to make sure whatever the hell's going down at center or guard, you have yourself set, then I am more than okay with that. So you see the full list of all of the free agent offensive linemen, tackles, guards, and centers. Now I'm going to give you my top 10 fits here. Love to hear your top 10, top 5, top 3, top 25, whatever it may be. There's a lot of damn names out there. So one of the names I left off, we're going to talk about tackles, versatile. I think Vaitai is someone I should have added to the list. And it's been a tough day. An unfortunate loss on Chelsea's side of the family. And it's just been a tough day. So prayers to Chelsea, good vibes, whatever you guys could send, would appreciate that. And Dominic and her family. And it's just been a tough one, but wanted to get this offensive line video out. Apologize that it's late, but let's jump into this top 10 here. And probably going to be missing some stuff. So let me hear it. Let me hear your thoughts. But let's look at the top 10 here. And at number 10, we're going to start off with the tackles, just like we did. We're going to go tackles, guards, and center. And I feel that's where the emphasis is. So for tackle, I'm looking at a guy like Ella Manor here, and he's 29 years old. He's got veteran experience. So we talk about that. Somebody who can actually play tackle, can play some guard. So yeah, had 14 starts there with the Raiders last year. So a guy with some experience. Now, take it for what you will here. I try to get as much, stats for offensive linemen as I can, but 6'4", 330, dude. 905 offensive snaps, 6 sacks allowed, 5 penalties, 68.5. Not the greatest, but again, take those PFF grades and everything else with a grain of salt. But he does play some right tackle as well, not just guard. Or not just. I'm sorry, not just tackle. He can play some guard as well. So look, versatility is the name of the game. Wouldn't mind him, but if we're going for a guy that's tackle, I'll be real with you. I know that PFF grade doesn't look great at 48.4, but Jack Driscoll brings versatility. He knows Stoutland. Stoutland likes him. He can play tackle, can play guard. If I'm bringing back somebody, I might as well bring back Driscoll. Now, I'd take Vitae over him. I'll be real with you. Again, this list kind of just threw it together as quick as I possibly could. But Driscoll, I like the kid, and I know he's had his issues, but I thought he did pretty well after having those issues last year. And he had that start, looked good, had one bad play, and then did pretty well. So for me, Driscoll, not against bringing him back. Now let's take a look at some of the guards here. Now this guard can play a little tackle as well, and his father is a former Philadelphia Eagle, old John Runyon Jr. And again, take these with a grain of salt. Started every game for the Packers last year, but had his struggles. Gave up 2 sacks only, though. 6 penalties, a 54.7 PFF grade. But look, man, kid's still young, 26, going to be his 5th season out of Michigan. And I think with Stout here, you could really do something with the kid, with that versatility. I would be all aboard that train, but I think he could help you out at guard, push Jurgens or Steen or whoever it needs to be, and wouldn't be against it. Now, up next, I've got Sua Opeta at number 7 here, and I think that Sua Opeta has done great and 6 starts last year. Now he gave up 3 sacks, had 2 penalties, a 53.2 grade. So whatever, again, grain of salt here, undrafted back in 2019. And I think that, this is somebody that Stout really likes and he has relied upon, he's kept him around. And this is somebody I think just knows the system, could come back. You don't have to spend big. So you got to keep that kind of stuff in mind. And I think a cheaper piece while looking into the draft is the way to go for the Eagles. But they're looking to spend a little bit of money. They want to shore up that guard position. Don't want to go too crazy, but hey, maybe you want to spend a little bit. I think that Robert Hunt from the Dolphins, this is a kid that, I think 27 years old. This will be his 5th season out of Louisiana, former 2nd-round pick. Got banged up last year, only had 10 starts, but only allowed 1 sack in those 10 starts, 11 games there, 77.1 grade. But this is somebody, he's been with the Dolphins in his first 4 years, but I really like this kid's game. And I think that with, somebody who can play that guard and tackle position, that versatility, it's always a plus, but he could come in and push whoever that right guard is going to be, or maybe he is that right guard if he wins the job. So this is the guy I would be all for grabbing. Now, number 1 at guard, though, there is a guy that you spend maybe a little bit more. This is a dude that, for me, Kevin Dotson was traded from the Steelers. This will be his 5th season. He is out of Louisiana as well, and 27 years old, 6'4", 321, 4th-round pick in 2020. So old Dotson here, but man, that was a great thing for him going to the Rams. Now he gave up 4 sacks, but he had a great grade there. He is somebody that I think that change of scenery really helped. Now, I don't know if they want to keep him. He wants to, stay with the team that traded for him. We'll see. But if you're looking for a guy that could come in here and start at right guard right away, you've got a guy right here. So that's obviously going to push whoever you do draft or have here or whatever the hell your plan is. At least you have a guy that that can start, and he could start at left guard. He has some versatility there. Don't want him at tackle, but I mean, he can do some things. I like Kevin Dotson, would not be against it. Now, let's go ahead, and that was number 5, but let's jump into the centers here. And Lloyd Cushenberry here. This is a guy that, again, I'm looking for not spending too much, but he's, decent enough that over 1,000 snaps last year, started every game, only allowed 1 sack. He did have 5 penalties, but this is a young man, 26 years old, his 5th season out of LSU, former 3rd-round pick, 6'4", 315. This is a dude I would be happy to come in be that center. Let Juergens and Steen battle it out, whatever the hell you want to do. Get a young guy in, as I've been saying here. I think Cushenberry would definitely make you feel better, if that certain somebody isn't coming back. But even more so than Cushenberry, I like Andre James from the Raiders. This kid's actually pretty damn versatile. Not only is he a center, but he can play guard and he can play tackle as well. So, yes, you love to see that his first couple years as tackle, now playing center out of UCLA. He was undrafted in 2019, 6'4", 300 pounds. So not the biggest dude, but 26 years old, started 9 games. And again, take this stuff with a grain of salt, 74.6 grade, whatever. But I really like Andre James, and I think that this is a piece that would push Juergens, whatever. Again, that's what we're trying to do here. I don't think that you have to go grab the, number one piece out there. But if you are looking to spend some money, make sure you've got a stud at center, or this guy, honestly, could start at guard as well. And yes, he did previously pay for the Dallas Cowboys, so I know that'll drive people crazy. But out of Texas, former second-round pick. This will be his 7th season, but he's only 26 years old. 312 pounds, 6'5". He started 9 games before being injured last year. Only allowed 1 sack, though. Now, 7 penalties. Do not like to see that. His game has vastly improved, though, in his time with the Dolphins. 86.5 grade. Again, take that stuff with a grain of salt, but I would happily take Connor Williams. Now, number 1 on my list at center, just come on home there, Jason Kelce, because let's take a look here. Jason Kelce, 36 years old, going into his 14th season out of Cincinnati, former 6th round pick in 2011, 6'3", 295. He's undersized. He can't do it. Started all 17 games last year, 1,108 snaps, only 1 sack allowed. He did have 6 penalties, some of them BS, but hey, it is what it is. 80.7 PFF grade. This dude is still playing at the top of the game, probably still, in my opinion, the best best center in the NFL. Told you it's been a long day. I'm running on fumes here, but look, I love each and every one of you. That's all I've got for you tonight. That was the free agent offensive line. We are done with the offense. So go check out quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, all of those things. We've got all of them out there. I will get the defense out, special teams. We will be set to go. You'll have the how we create space, the recaps of the positional strengths, everything to get you ready for free agency. But if you got anything from this video, do me a favor, hit that like button. You could subscribe down below. I would love to hear your thoughts on this video, who your top 5 is, top 10, whatever it may be. I'm excited for free agency. I hope you are too. It is sicko season, baby. So got a picture from my man Tim today with the shirt, the sticker on. I'm going to be posting that. Super excited you guys are buying that merch, all that stuff. Hope you're enjoying the sicko season so far. But until next time, I am Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. You all have yourselves a great rest of your night. Stay safe out there, and as always, say it with me now, go Birds!